Hey everyone, it's Rob Stanley with the Seller Growth Podcast, and today I've got Samer Brax with me. What's up, Samer?
What's up?
Hey, so we've got some really cool stuff. So here, let me throw it at the bottom of the screen so everybody can see. Today we're going to be talking about 5 steps to get influencers to promote your Amazon product for free. And Samer had done this amazing video, and I loved all the information in it. And I wanted him to come on the show and share that information with all of our viewers and everybody, because this is just some, crazy free. Samer, you sure? Really?
Yeah, kind of, almost.
Okay. Well, let's get started and start talking about it. So once again, I'm Rob Stanley with AccrueMe, Chief Market Officer. I got Samer Brax with me. We're talking about how to get influencers to promote your product for free. And let's start with the first one. And I luckily I got the steps. So identifying your audience. Why don't you go over identifying your audience for us, please?
Yeah, so before you go out and find influencers to promote your product, you have to understand who your own audience is. Like, who is your customer base? Who's that typical person who's going to buy your product? Because once you understand that, it'll make it easier to find out who they're following and what they're interested in. So there are a lot of ways that you can identify your own audience if you're already selling on Amazon. What I actually did was I went to my ManyChat list, and that's a list that I built from insert cards. Every customer that buys my product, they scan an insert card to get a video guide on the product. And then I have that list of each person that scanned that. So from that list, I can see like what's the average age range, what's the average, other averages that you can think of. And you can start to understand who these people are. If you haven't sold any, you can do the same thing with emails. But if you haven't sold anything yet and you're starting from scratch, another thing that you can do is go to Amazon, go to your competitors, and go to their reviews and check those people that are reviewing the products. You can click on each reviewer and see what else they have reviewed. And if you put 2 and 2 together, you can try to understand who these people are. It's very kind of creepy, but it helps you understand who your customers are. And I think that's step 1.
Yeah. So wait, let's go into, and I can't remember if you covered this on step 1, but is there certain levels you're looking for? Like they have a certain amount of followers versus ones that don't. Did I skip a step there? Because I think I remember. Oh, did I? Okay. So step 2. Let's go into step 2, which is figure out criteria of the influencers. Why don't you go ahead and dive into that?
Right. So now you have a typical customer in your head, and you have an image of what that person looks like, who they follow, what they're interested in, and you can start to understand who are the people that influence that customer, or who are the people that they follow, and then you try to figure out the criteria of those influencers that these people follow. So I look for influencers from anywhere from 3,000 up to like 100,000 followers on Instagram, if we're talking on Instagram. And I could look lower, and that goes back to what your criteria is. So one of my important criteria was to get a bunch of high quality content so that I can use it on my own Instagram and on my listing, on ads, and anywhere that I want to use it, the website as well. So if content or high quality content was one of the criteria, then I wouldn't mind finding an influencer with 1,000 followers and that has amazing videos or amazing photos. And those people are usually easier to contact and work with, and they'd be more excited to work with you, probably more long term. And if you see potential with those people, they're probably going to grow, and you'll get a lot more for that investment. So yeah, figure out what that criteria is that really fits your own content. Something else that was part of my criteria list was I needed people that post swipe posts. What are they called? Carousels. So for example, if you're selling something in the food niche, for example, and then people post 5 steps for a recipe, and then that those posts do better, it's like step 1, and then you swipe step 2. If that's the criteria that you're looking for, then look for influencers that usually post like that. And that's literally the list that I sent to my partner or to the VA that's looking for influencers, and that's who we look for. So figure out what those influencers look like, and then try to find them. And don't go for influencers that, for this strategy at least, I wouldn't go for influencers that have too many followers, because you could try, but most of the time they're not going to reply, or they're going to charge you. If that's what you're going after, then sure. But in my case, I was going after just getting a bunch of content from influencers and getting my product in as many hands as possible. And that's not going to work if you're going to pay each one of these influencers. And that's step 2. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. And just real quick, hi to everybody. We really appreciate it. And be sure to hit that like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe and hit like on either YouTube or on Facebook. We do appreciate that. And questions, if you get questions coming up. So once again, Rob Stanley with AccrueMe. I got Samer Brax, and we're talking about 5 steps to get influencers to promote your Amazon FBA products or Amazon products for free. There's got to be some questions coming up. So just real quick, let's see. We had a few people that were chiming in here. Got a thumbs up there. Greg, thank you. Appreciate it. Scott, what's up, guys? What's up, Scott? We appreciate it. So yeah, keep those questions coming. I know we just only got through step 2, which I totally understand, but have those questions prepared as they go, and we'll definitely answer them. So
live
moving
on YouTube right now?
Yeah, we're live on YouTube, live on Facebook. So yeah. Oh, there we go. We're getting some love. Nice. Appreciate it. Yeah. So we've got, let's go on to step 3. So step 1, we basically have identified your audience. Step 2 is figuring out criteria of the influencer. And then step 3 is how to find the influencer. So why don't you go ahead and dive into that? And Liz, hey, appreciate the interesting information. Interested? Cool. So yeah, keep going, Samer.
So step 3 is how to find the influencers. And that's the exciting part for me. It's a lot of digging on Instagram, but you can start by looking at one of your competitors. So go to Amazon, find one of your top competitors and see if they have a presence on Instagram. And if they do, you can start there. From there, there's a lot of different routes that you can take to find influencers. The easiest way is to just browse your competitors and then see who they have worked with. So who have they tagged in their posts? Those could be potential influencers. If they're not direct competitors selling the exact same product, if they're selling a similar product, then those influencers could work with you if your product's different. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to go to the posts that are tagged, that people have tagged your competitors in. So instead of the main feed on the right, you click on the tagged posts. And then those are people that have tagged your competitor. A lot of them are customers, a lot of them, or some of them are influencers. So you can find a lot of them in there as well. And you go through your criteria list that you just created. And if it fits the criteria, reach out to them. And we'll talk about how to reach out to them in the next step. So another way to do this is from your competitor's page. On the top right, there's a little arrow that you can click on. If you click on that, it shows you a bunch of suggested pages that are similar to that page. If you're lucky, or if you scroll enough, you'll find a bunch of influencers that algorithmically they're linked to that page and probably have customers that would be interested in your product. So that's another way to do it. You can also look at who the competitors are following. One very effective way that I use a lot is to go through the posts and look at the comments. A lot of influencers comment on these posts so that they can get visibility, and you can find them there. So I think that's all of it. If there's anything else, it's probably in that YouTube video that I posted. But those steps you can repeat once you land on an influencer's page. So you started from your competitor's page. You went to all these different steps to find influencers. If you find an influencer, you do it again. From that influencer's page, you click on the arrow, you click on the tagged posts, you see who's tagged with them, you see their comments, you see who they're following. It's pretty fun. It's easy. It's a lot of digging around.
Yeah, that's very cool. Sorry. Quick question though, Samer. So, and again, if I jump too far, let me know. One of the things I would think if I'm selling a product on Amazon, let's say it's in the sports area, I probably am going to get or want to look for people that are talking about that area in that area, or actually let's go with camping goods or outdoor. Maybe it's somebody who talks about camping goods, or they're always going on vacation. Like, those are the ones you want to target, right? Because if you just go to somebody based on, they got 1 billion freaking people following them, but people aren't interested in what you're selling, it's probably not a good fit, right? Could you maybe elaborate a little on that?
Yeah, that's where identifying your audience in step 1 solves that problem. You have to really understand who your audience is. If it's someone who's interested in camping, then you have to start understanding who they follow. Is it just a camping expert that they follow, or is it something related to camping that they follow? And once you know exactly who your audience is, just put yourself in their shoes. Like, who would you follow if you're interested in that little thing? And then according to the criteria that you have in mind for the influencers, then you can find influencers that fit that that specific thing that you're looking for. So it's not too general. It has to be very specific. And this is just a method that has worked for me according to what I'm looking for. If you're looking for something else, then another method is going to work for you. You just have to try a bunch of stuff. Whatever works, works. But in this case, I was looking to put my product in as many hands as possible and to show it to as many people as possible and to do it without spending a ton of money. And that's what worked for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So once again, I'm Rob Stanley, Chief Marketing Officer for AccrueMe. I got Samer Brax, and today we're talking about 5 steps to get influencers to promote your Amazon products for free. And we're getting some great questions coming in. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back and answer those questions. Stick around. There's still 2 more steps that you got to do, so hang on tight.
This content is brought to you by AccrueMe, the business-friendly funding solution for Amazon sellers. If you're a profitable Amazon seller looking for capital to grow your profits, click the link around this video or visit AccrueMe.com for a no-risk funding estimate in less than 3 minutes.
There you go. One of our new commercials. Anyways.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
So
Professional. All right. So back to the show. We got plenty. And look, there's more questions coming in, which we definitely appreciate. Keep those questions coming. So let's see. We just got lots of highs. Oh, here we go. Let's see. I'll throw it up on the screen. Sometimes medium to big influencers are just hard to talk to and ask for much than expected for the work, meaning probably asking for more money. So wait, we're going to be talking about reaching out here in a second. So maybe that's a good segue. Lots of highs coming up, by the way, and we do appreciate everybody posting. We definitely, give us some likes, some subscribes. But Samer, so that is actually step number 4. Let's get that off the screen. Going into step number 4, reaching out, or how to contact these people to basically make that connection. Go ahead.
Yeah. In case we didn't mention it before, but this is a strategy for someone who is like me, who is just a little person trying to start this tiny business. It's not for big companies. This is for people who are tight on a budget. So as you said, reaching out to big influencers, it's hard because you need a bigger budget for that. But it doesn't mean that you can't do influencer marketing, because that's what I've done and that's what's worked. So when it comes to reaching out, I've tried a lot of things when it comes to starting a relationship with those influencers. I started by trying to create a relationship with them, as in talk, say hello, how are you, try to have a long conversation, get to know them. But that doesn't really work, because I thought back to, like, I post videos on YouTube, so I get a lot of questions. And at some point, after you get so many questions, it's hard to see everything. And now what I've noticed from my own experience is that the ones that are more to the point, I see them faster and I get to them faster and I get to understand what they want. And I'm going to reply to those people. So that's what I tried to do. And it worked. I kept the message super short. I made it very personal. It's like, hey, I just started this little company from my bedroom, started selling this cool little product that I love to use myself. And I'd love to send it to you so you can try it. And that's really the pitch. It's like, I'd love to get in your hands because I want your opinion. And people love to give their opinions. So I guess that worked. And then from there, I just asked for their address and I sent it to them. And that really worked, because at the end of the day, I was sending my product to 1, 2, 3 influencers per day. And I started getting a lot of content to use, which was super helpful. I use a lot of those videos on Amazon, video ads. I don't know if you guys have access to that, but most people now have access to run video ads on Amazon. And those have been the most profitable ads that I've ever ran on Amazon. And it's just the influencer using the product. I didn't even edit anything. I just made it fit Amazon, and I didn't add anything. It's just the influencer using the product. And that's made me a lot of money. And that's all from just, contacting the influencer, sending them the product for free and expecting nothing in return. A lot of times you get nothing in return. And a lot of times you get some cool videos and some exposure, because at the same time, I noticed that people were buying my products on Shopify and I wasn't running any ads. And on Amazon, I had some ads targeting my brand name, and I noticed a lot of sales started coming there. So who knows about my brand name other than people who might have heard about it from influencers? So I guess that method of reaching out with a very quick, personal, to the point message started to work, because at first it didn't work too much. I tried to start a whole conversation with them, and no one has the time for that.
Yeah. We got more questions coming in. Keep them coming in. But I got a question actually, Samer. So when we're talking about platforms, like, did you see any platforms work better than others, like reaching out to YouTube people versus reaching out to maybe like Instagram, or should you just kind of blanket and hit all of them?
Yeah, this is perfected more for Instagram. When it comes to YouTube, it's usually you have to find their Instagram from YouTube, and this would work, or you have to find their email from YouTube, and then you have to email them. But a lot of times, I actually started using a tool that helps me filter through Instagram Instagram accounts, just like Jungle Scout and Helium 10 do for products, but it's for Instagram. And then there you can filter for those that have a YouTube channel in their bio. So that's a way to find YouTubers from Instagram. But this really worked for Instagram. YouTube, it's just reaching out to as many people as possible. And then from those Instagram accounts that I found, some of them had YouTube channels, and then that worked out, I guess.
Yeah. I kind of see it as a two-way street. I mean, you and I are in the world of creating content, right? I mean, you've got the YouTube channel. I've did YouTube stuff forever. Heck, having you on here, we're creating content. So I kind of feel it's a two-way street. When you're sending this product to them, it kind of gives them something to make content on, to be able to put out there. So,
right.
It's helping you, obviously, but it also, I feel it helps them a little bit. So
right.
We had actually, go ahead. A comment came in real quick. So Krista was mentioning about such a great idea for the Amazon video ads. Mine are the highest ACOS ad of 26%. Need to try an unboxing, I think. So
yeah, what's the video ad that you're running? I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, so why don't you hit a reply and we'll keep moving on. But Krista, if you want to do a follow-up, we're more than happy to follow up with that. So yeah, once again, I got Samer Brax on. We're talking about the 5 steps to get influencers to promote your Amazon products for free. And we got some great content. We only have 1 step left, but I know we're going to have lots more questions coming in. I've got some questions already I'm thinking of for the end, but let's move on to the final step so we can get to those questions, Samer. So just real quick, the last step, or step 5, we're just going through the steps we covered before if you came in late. First is identifying your audience. Number 2 is figuring out criteria of the influencer. The third is how to find the influencer. 4th is reaching out. And the 5th one is keep them coming back. So why don't you go ahead and go into detail on what do you mean by keep them coming back?
Yes, so it's similar to what you said about YouTube and helping them. So any way that you can help them creates a better relationship with them. And I think it's pointless to reach out to someone, send them your product, and then forget about them. You did all that work. You might as well create a long-term relationship, and then the next product you can send it to them, and then they can promote it, and then you have a list of influencers that are ready to promote your next products. And the way to do that is to follow them on Instagram, like all their posts every time they post, comment on their stuff, be supportive. And one of the best ways, one of the things that's worked the most for me is to just care and provide as much value as possible. A lot of these people are just starting in the marketing world. They're marketing themselves basically. And then we know a little bit about marketing, or we know a bit more than them at least, and we can help them in some way. So I've talked to a lot of these influencers, and I've shared what I know about YouTube from my experience. If they want to start a YouTube channel, I've gone into long conversations. That's where the long conversations start, not at the beginning, but now after we've had relationships started. And I've given them a lot of tips on how to grow on Instagram, grow on YouTube, just because I've figured out how to do it for myself. And that keeps them coming back. That makes them want to rep the brand more and more. And then something else that I've done is I've tried to help them as much as possible to build their own portfolio. And same idea with giving them as much value as possible. So, and it's helped me because one of the ways that I've done that is one of the influencers wanted to build a portfolio with photography, and she wanted to get some experience with product photography. So I was like, yeah, why don't you take photos of our product with you, without you, lifestyle photos, and then you can use them in your own portfolio, and you can use them if you wanted to, do Upwork gigs or to get a job or something like that. So any way that you can help the influencers can actually help you back as well. And now those photos I use on Amazon, I use on Shopify, I use in ads. Just caring about them and bringing as much value as possible. We'll keep them around, and at that point, without even asking them, they put we give them a lot of discount codes, and they put them in their own bios. We don't even ask them to do that, but because we've brought them so much value, they care about promoting the product, they care about other people using the product, and they care about any announcement that we make, which makes our life super easy.
Yeah, that's great information. So one of the things also, we're not done. Okay, so everybody stick around. We've got more coming up here. Samer's going to share tips on what he puts in his template when he sends it out to try to get these influencers to come back. And then Krista had a follow-up, and we got more comments. We got a real quick commercial here, and then we'll be right back.
This content is brought to you by AccrueMe, the business-friendly funding solution for Amazon sellers. If you're a profitable Amazon seller looking for capital to grow your profits, click the link around this video or visit AccrueMe.com for a no-risk funding estimate in less than 3 minutes.
There we go. So we're back. And Krista had a follow-up regarding the ACOS on the video. Like a compilation video, she was asking basically about what kind of video, or Samer was asking what kind of video. Compilation video, product is in use similar to an FBA or Facebook ad.
Yeah, I've tried running Facebook ad type videos on Amazon. They haven't worked for some reason. The videos that have worked for some reason are the ones that are just very raw, people using the product. But that's very specific to my product. I've seen other people do other types of videos, and it's worked. Just trying to share what you can try, and then what you might find works for you.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. We have one more question come in before we talk about that template that you use. Let's see. I know I saw a name there. Where was it? Okay. It came up basically what they're asking about is buying Instagram followers, I think is what they're basically getting to. It's kind of long. Is it true, and do you recommend it? Basically, should you be buying followers? And some people obviously probably do, but do you recommend doing that?
I don't see the reason to do it. It doesn't help you in any way. In fact, I would assume it would hurt your algorithm because you have a lot of followers that don't interact with you, and the more followers interact with your page, the more Instagram values you as a good page, and the more it's going to push you. And I don't see a reason to have more followers. Your page should look kind of like a landing page on Instagram, because your customers are going there for some validation, and the validation can come on the feed with a bunch of photos and videos. On the highlights, that's a very important place to have a bunch of reviews. You can have the story of your brand. You can have how to use your product, and then on your stories, and that's pretty much it. You just have to put in the work to grow the page. I don't believe in those shortcuts.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the template. Obviously, it would take us too long to bring it up on the screen and go over it. But why don't you just point out some key things that people should include in the template when they're reaching out to these different influencers to get them to promote your product?
Yeah, like I mentioned, keep it to the point and super short. Mention something very specific to their own page. So if you go through their page and you find something cool, mention it so that they know that you're not a bot and you're not just blasting a template. But do find something that you can refer to from their page. Like if they have a dog, like, hey, love the shirt that you bought for your dog or whatever. And mention something personal to you, like how you are excited about your own product, and then just mention that you would like to get their feedback. Well, you'd love to get their feedback and to see how they use the product, and if they have any tips or any notes on it. And that's when they go like, yeah, sure, send it to me, and then ask for their address. That's pretty much it. Keep it simple. And that's what's worked for me. If you try something else and it works for you, do that. Don't just stick to that. That's great.
That's great information. Yeah, we're having a little hiccup on our signal right now, but Yeah, I like everything you just said is so true. And I love the part you talked about, like once you've connected with them and maybe they did a little promo for you, stay with them. Keep connect with them. The reality is Samer wouldn't be on my show if I didn't meet the guy two and a half years ago or so.
I was going to say you're a professional at this. You're excellent at this. I see you at all the parties. You're networking with everyone. You're complimenting everyone. You're super nice. Look at your smile, smiling all the time. That's why people like you. That's why I'm here.
Hey, it's the new job, man. I love working over at AccrueMe. So just real quick, Samer Brax just got done covering the 5 steps to get influencers to promote your Amazon product for free, or pretty much free. I mean, you're pretty much giving them the product and they're promoting it. It's kind of swap, and I totally agree with that. And so here's the thing. If you just came in and you're kind of late to the show and you kind of missed everything, I just created a new section at AccrueMe.com. So you can go back, rewatch the entire podcast or the entire video, the entire podcast. We got Samer's contact information. You can get a hold of him that way. So head on over to AccrueMe.com to be able to rewatch the video if you missed anything, or if you're listening in to the podcast, make sure you check out AccrueMe.com. And if there's any last questions, we'll be happy to take them. If not, like I said, head over to AccrueMe.com and you can contact Samer through our page there. And Samer, I really appreciate you being on the Seller Growth Podcast. And man, it's been a while since I've seen you, but thanks so much for coming in and sharing that information. It was very valuable.
Yeah, I'm always excited to talk to you. It's been a while. You're right.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining us once again on the Seller Growth Podcast. I really appreciate it. My name is Rob Stanley, Chief Marketing Officer with AccrueMe, and I got Samer Brax. So have a great day, everyone.
Awesome. See you.